to me, like, I'm thinking about the future of the Skrulls as villains, and I've been the guy for like 5-6 years saying that Secret Invasion is going to happen, and that everything that Marvel's been doing has been leading up to that point. I looked at this movie and felt like they moved away from that because of how much teeth they took out of the Skrulls a little bit. I mean, the Skrulls in this
they move forward in this.
No, the Skrulls, while the Skrulls are vicious still, they do pack a punch when you frame it as, oh, they're these victims and they're out to save their families. It's gonna be, I mean, I don't know, maybe Talos won't be the villain of a movie like that, but
that's the only way.
But it's gonna be hard for me. But knowing the plight of the Skrulls, even forget about Talos. I know that this is happening to Skrulls all over the world and all over the universe now. The plight of the Skrulls, I think, is gonna make it harder for me to realize how evil, like what they did with the Secret Invasion, can happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say you basically said what I was gonna say. So, like, exactly. So they took the teeth out of the Skrulls. The Skrulls are all like, they're cuddly, they're victims. They are, you want to protect them. They're trying to save their families. Like, that's what this is now. I mean, they're not the same Skrulls that we have where they basically just show up to Earth and they're like, they have to set it up correctly if they're going to show up to Earth and then start shapeshifting and pretending to be Avengers and trying to take over the Earth. Like, that would require a lot of explanation.
Yeah.
Like that to suddenly make them out to be so evil. And I know this is a big war, and there's a lot of like, and I know there's a lot of like Skrulls, obviously, because it's like a galactic war. But it just the way that this movie was set up and how the Skrulls look in this movie, like, it's hard for me to see an army, all of a sudden, especially the next phase. If that's like 2-3 phases down, then I'm like, okay, sure, maybe, But this coming phase, we're gonna get Secret Invasion. I don't know. I highly
my thing is, like, they did paint the Skrulls as sympathetic figures, but there are bad people in every race. There's good people in every race. It's not really black and white. I mean, I guess in theory it is black and white, but there's good and there's bad. And the guys who may be doing the Skrulls that may be doing Secret Invasion, or maybe a part of Secret Invasion, could be a terrorist faction of the Skrulls. I mean, does this mean like we can't get Super Skrull now because the Skrulls are because Talos saved his family? I mean, we only saw like 30-40 Skrulls. I imagine there's hundreds of thousands, maybe, I don't know how many millions, but like, if the fact that they were they already on Earth?
So
when they got there, that makes
my
me think there could be some already planted.
My impression was no, but the language that was being used was interesting. Infiltration.
Yeah, it said the infiltration has started.
Right,
which makes me think that they may not be done.
I also think what Ronan was saying.
But remember, wasn't that also though what the language that the Kree were using though? That wasn't the Skrulls never said, "Oh, our infiltration has begun."
Yeah, that's what the Kree use.
Right.
But
I think kind of takes some teeth away from like that being a thing.
I mean, I also thought it was interesting that Ronan, and I guess this kind of goes to Kendall's point, and that Ronan was like, "Listen, if there's a Skrull anywhere, like, you don't know." He's like, if they're on a planet, like that planet's got to go. Right. Like, why is he so scared? I mean, I think that may be the main thing. Is like, why is this guy so scared of the Skrulls?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the argument with the trolls about this movie, I think that those are supposed to be the parallels you draw to our today situation in the real world, with like the idea that you ban all Muslims, like that kind. I think that's that was a big conversation about this movie. Like, how overt would they be with some of these themes? I don't think they were overt at all, to be honest. I think that they skated a lot of that stuff. But I think if there were anything to reference that clearly, I thought the Skrull stuff was like clearly the refugee type of thing, which again goes back to
had them in like
if you're gonna
clothes,
if you're gonna do the refugee thing, like how do you then make them these people who try to take over the Earth? Like that just seems like a big leap.
And
to me.
I think that's going to be part of the conflict. which is gonna be even more, I wouldn't say poetic, but even more like,
I think it would be awesome,
like a story-driven type of thing of like Captain Marvel is like leading the Avengers or part of the Avengers, and
she's got
her
love for these
history is like, I've helped the Skrulls, like they helped me find out my past, and like I've put them. I know a lot of good Skrulls, and I have close friends.
I have friends that are Skrulls,
and the rest of them are gonna be like, no, these people like, you know, this guy killed so and so. He killed a, you know, Cap, for example, or this guy pretended to be Nick Fury for years. Like, I don't know what the story would be, but that would create a conflict from the audience perspective and the, you know, character perspective.
It would. I guess to me, and maybe I'm not giving Marvel enough credit. I personally,
and it's too easy.
I guess I personally feel like I don't know if they have the guts to go through with something like that with what they established.
You don't think Marvel they killed half their characters?
Yeah, but
they don't got the.
We know they're coming back.
Yeah, I know they're coming back. You know they're coming back, but it still took guts to kill Spider-Man in Iron Man's arms and kill Black Panther, knowing that there are gonna be a lot of kids watching, be like, Spider-Man's dead, crying in their Spider-Man masks, crying in their Captain America shields.
Who's wearing a Spider-Man mask to Avengers movie? You can't see nothing.
Look, man, I know, right?
You can't see nothing in a Spider-Man mask.
So I won't put anything past Marvel
to
make a villainous group villains in the movie, even if they made them halfway sympathetic for half of the movie.
So you think that, but you think the actions in this movie make them more forward that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think because of the infiltration theme. Like they didn't. I feel like they didn't do a half measure version of the Skrulls. Like they could have, in the sense like, oh yeah, they shapeshift, but like just one of them was there, and we got the one guy who happens to be a shapeshifter. Like they did like, Skrulls, or they go to different planets, and they like that is something that was something that I would envision Secret Invasion being about.
And they did establish that the Skrulls go to planets and pretend to be people that, when they go to that first planet, they're like, all the regular people aren't there. It's just the Skrulls.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happens to regular people, but what
I will say is I don't think that the seed that they planted with the Skrulls, I think it's more theoretical than I think it is like a physical seed. Like I don't think that they like put something in this movie that's gonna pop up. Like I don't think Talos is gonna be in Avengers 5, for example. Like I think it may be a random Skrull, but they just put I think they planted the seed that a Skrull could be out there, or a faction of Skrulls could be out there on Earth, and they might be evil. But I agree that there's nothing that they didn't forward it in the sense that they put something in this movie that's gonna pop up in a future movie.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this podcast segment, be sure to check out all of our shows on the New Generation Podcast Network on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher.